What's good, y'all? It's Swayze, and today I want to talk about, is Call of Duty going to become a free-to-play live service title? Basically, this is all coming from the Bloomberg report, and I'll go ahead and put it up right now. It mentions how high-level employees at Activision have discussed moving away from the annual release schedule, according to two people familiar with the discussions, whatever that means. Although nothing has been finalized yet, well, I mean, duh, there's a belief among many Call of Duty developers that releasing games at a slower pace will please players and help bolster the franchise. And then it goes on to mention how Vanguard saw a 36% decline in the UK sales, and how, if anything, a shift may not happen until next year or later, especially, with that news breaking yesterday that Microsoft Xbox has taken over Activision Blizzard. So, obviously that's going to change things up, but it goes on to mention slowing down the Call of Duty release schedule may lighten developers' intense workloads and could provide new opportunities for the game makers to work on other titles. I'm not really sure how to interpret that last part with the other titles, but intense workloads is obvious. We've been seeing the results of this, year after year, with how Call of Duty always has to have a new game every single year, no matter what. I mean, heck, we had the whole the world shutdown and everybody had to work from homes, but that didn't stop them from putting out Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And I do think we see the results from these intense workloads that they mentioned, because year after year, every single Call of Duty comes out with random bugs, random glitches. Sometimes it breaks the game, sometimes it breaks your Xbox. Do you remember the reports from Black Ops Cold War when that first came out and it was completely breaking people's consoles? Like, how do you mess that up? And obviously Vanguard hasn't been pretty. You saw the report, 36% decline in UK sales, and we don't really know the US numbers because it's a whole different story. It's a whole different beast. But UK, I think because of some weird rules or laws or regulations or whatever, the sales are pretty clean cut. They're pretty transparent, and so it's a small sample size considering worldwide. But heck, it does tell a story. Vanguard is having issues. Call of Duty is having major issues with the bugs and the glitches, and so they're looking at it and saying, well, I think the problem is, we're releasing games year after year after year, and by the time we finally get finished with one game, we are turn around and work on the next game. So it's no surprise that this report is coming from, quote, Call of Duty developers, because those are the people that are actually making the game. This report is supposedly coming from those guys at, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Raven, Infinity Ward. So obviously, those people are gonna mention this and bring this up, that hey, we're crunched as it is. We can't keep doing this year after year after year. But I titled this video as free to play live service, because if releasing a game year after year after year isn't the play, if that's not the plan, what is the plan? Okay, release a game, maybe 2 games, maybe 3 games, and then just kind of have each of those last 3-4 years each until a new game comes out. Well, that sounds a lot like free to play live service. Take a look at Halo Infinite. We all know Microsoft Xbox took over Activision Blizzard, so they're going to be the head dudes in charge of Call of Duty moving forward. Take a look at what they did with Halo. Halo had always been a game that didn't come out year after year after year. It wasn't milked to death. It was always like, okay, we're going to release a Halo game, let it sit, let it simmer for a few years. We'll add some content to it here and there, but it's a good enough game. It's a full, complete game, actually worth $60. That's a rare surprise in today's world, but it would actually be a game that could hold weight on its own, and then they would release the next game, and each game would be sold for $60. Look at what they did with Halo Infinite after all these years of that model with Halo development. Now they're putting out Halo Infinite free to play, live service. You don't have to pay for it. You have to pay for the campaign, but that's a whole different story. But the multiplayer, they're going with the whole, it's a live service. Here's a game that's kind of half complete. It's good at its core, and we'll add stuff to it later. So I do think, obviously, Call of Duty needs to stop releasing games year after year after year, right? Like, that's not the issue. I'm not advocating, keep doing this old technique that started in the 70s and the 80s. That's an old model. It's outdated. We don't need to buy We don't need to spend $60 every single year for a crap game that's incomplete and gets patched after 6 months to be finally decent, or heck, maybe 8 months, and by that point, well, they're going to stop working on it because they got to move on to the next game. So we do need to move on from that whole model of developing games, but I am concerned that this will be an excuse for Call of Duty developers to put out one game that's kind of half-baked games, and then we're kind of stuck with it getting improved after year after year after year. You guys thought Black Ops Cold War was bad, or you thought Vanguard was bad. Imagine having to put up with this game for 3-4 years. Okay, sure, if they had time to develop it, they would release it with more maps and more weapons, but I know people that hate those two games at its core. They just do not want to play it. They're sick of it. There's nothing that they could do to add to the game or fix the game that would make these people want to play it. I mean, let's go back to it again. The current model is bad. I'm not saying that they should keep releasing game year after year after year, because they all suck. Like, let's be honest. They've all been kind of under quality, underbaked. So I'm not saying we need to keep with what we got right now, but I am kind of worried that this will be, an excuse, like I said, to put out something like Halo Infinite, 3, 4, 5 maps total, not that many guns, not that much stuff to do, and then they use the excuse, oh, it's free to play. It'll be added, especially when it comes to some reports. Now, this is just a rumor, of course. We don't know a lot about this, but there has been some rumors that Microsoft and Xbox are going to be looking towards pushing all of the Call of Duty developers, Sledgehammer, Treyarch, Infinity Ward. They're going to have them all working on one game. And as good as that sounds, let's be honest, too many cooks in the kitchen, that's a phrase for trouble, because why? You got too many people, you got too many different opinions, and it doesn't really work out all the time. So, I mean, it sounds like a good idea, kind of like in sports too, where you have these super teams that come together. In this case, you're going to have a super team of Call of Duty developers all coming together to work on one game. But that only sounds good. It doesn't mean that it's going to be a great game, because sometimes you just need one single direction. And I think Call of Duty at this point has kind of narrowed down its audience. Like, a lot of people are put into two camps. They either like the quick TTK of, Modern Warfare and Infinity Ward, and they like that sort of like hyper realism, not like Rainbow Six Siege or like some milsim game. And then you have the other side that kind of likes Treyarch for the slower time to kill. It kind of, the game is a little bit faster paced. You got a little bit more colorful surroundings. You got that Treyarch style, whereas Modern Warfare is going to go for that a little bit more realism style. But both of them are good games. Both of them have their own flaws and pros and cons and all that good stuff. But I feel like everybody kind of has picked which Call of Duty style they like better. So if you were to try to mix it up and create this like gumbo of fast time to kill and slow time to kill, and you're just going to end up annoying somebody. You're just going to end up pissing somebody off. So that's my second, my big second fear about this is that if you do only do one Call of Duty every 3 years, every 4 years, or whatever case you have, it's going to annoy somebody. It's going to piss somebody off. The time to kill is going to be too quick. It's going to be too slow. Or imagine they try to find a balance, and then some guns will be broken, and then that's just going to ruin the experience. And we're going to have the same sort of issues we have right now with the annual Call of Duty release cycle, where things get overlooked. Things, there's just too much stuff to look at, and then you add in the fact that, yeah, sure, there might be 3 studios, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer. There might be all 3 of these big guys working on the same game. Each of them is going to have their own opinion of what they want to do. Each of them is going to have their own specialty, and you can't really just force this stuff to work together. You can't just like make it happen. Like I said, with sports teams, we've seen a lot of times where you take 2 or 3 athletes, put them together on one team, and think, oh, damn, season's over, go ahead and crown them now. They're champs. They're already going to win it. They're Vegas favorites for the odds and whatnot, but it doesn't happen. They fall flat on their face. So if that happens, then what? We're left with an even worse COD for 3 years, and we can't even look forward to the next COD coming, next November. So, like I said, this is all speculation. I really got to emphasize once again, I do think the yearly release cycle is bad, but at the end of the day, what's the alternative? Just because just because the way it is now is bad doesn't mean that we should jump on to whatever alternative there is and just say, yay, that's not that, so it's going to be perfect. I don't know. I got fears, I got concerns. With the way Call of Duty has been developing games, would it really matter if they got another year? Like, would it really matter if they got another 2 years? They're still going to make some gameplay decisions that piss off half the population. They're still going to do things that nobody understands and kind of keep tweaking the game. But yeah, all I'm saying is, as long as they can remove skill-based matchmaking, I'll be pleased. Like, let's be honest, that's gonna be the cause of like 99% of the problems I have with Call of Duty. Like, I can understand bugs, I can understand glitches. Again, that happens with every single game. Even if they have 4 years to work on Call of Duty, there's still gonna be bugs and glitches. That's just how life works. But my issue is the gameplay designs and the decisions they make. It's like, let's say Infinite Warfare came out and everybody was already tired of jetpacks, and imagine if that COD had to last us, 4 years. That would have sucked, or like really bad. But I don't know. That's pretty much all I have to say on this. I'll see you in the next one.